ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaste. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. What a powerful statement. Okay, so let us understand. See, when you are talking about the teacher, now he must be like a kind of a compass. Now, two things. One is there must be a comfort level between the student and the teacher, and there is a excellent rapport between the teacher and the students. And also, the teacher should not make it as a transaction. The purpose of the teacher is to have a kind of a transformation. So that is the purpose of this teacher. And every teacher was a student before becoming a teacher. So there must be a lot of empathy. So when I say the teacher is a compass that activates the magnet of the curiosity, knowledge and wisdom in the students. Okay, fine. See, now let us stratify the kinds of the teachers. One is the bad teacher, right? They keep on complaining about the students, right? They never find out how you can really inspire the students. The bad teacher is a complaining nature. Okay, the average teacher he just explains whatever he has learned. He will just explain. Okay, it's better than the previous one. Then the good teacher is able to communicate. That means he is able to listen, try to understand, and respond. So this is what we call the good communication. Then if a very good teacher, he inspires. What do you mean by inspires? That means you are able to make the student to learn the subjects. For that, the teacher must be inspired before inspiring the student. The excellent teacher is the awakener. Is the awakener. See, everybody has got the knowledge, but you have to ignite. Okay. Now, you have to ask questions to yourself. So, you are a teacher. Now, when you say teacher, everybody is a teacher and everybody is a student. For example, any organization, that means an executive is a teacher and is able to educate the other people. And similarly, every person is a mentor and also a mentee. Okay, that means you have to decide what kind of a teacher or a mentor you are. Just think about that. So it is an information. See, now, when you talk about this ideal teacher, what do you do about that? When you say that, okay, the T for teacher, that means you must be a guru. That is the sixth stage, right? That means you are able to really awaken the students. That means the teacher. That means you are better than what you are yesterday. You are planning to be a better person for tomorrow. Okay, that is the T for teacher. Then E for empathy. When you say empathy, you must always feel that yes, now I was a student, right? Now I am inspired by my teacher. Now you must always find out that every student is my own child. Okay, that means you must have a kind of the empathy. And also what happens, you should not be very serious. You must also entertaining the students by a kind of a humor or joke or whatever it is. Okay, the next one is the attitude. So what is the attitude of a teacher? It is a noble profession. Suppose if you are working in an organization or a worker, if there is a bad job, it will not affect. But as a teacher, if you are doing a bad job, you are affecting the future generation. Okay, this is what you call the attitude. That means you must have a positive attitude. You must find out that every children are my own children. Okay, and then you must have a tremendous amount of accountability. Yes, the entire future generation is in my hands. Right? So once I have a kind of a accountability, that means your responsibility will be really high. The other thing is, compassionate. You must have a compassion. So what do you mean with that? Earlier you were a student, now you are a teacher. Okay, now you must have a kind of a compassion. Suppose if you are listening to a bad teacher, you must have suffered. Right? Now similarly, you must make sure that all your students must be able to enjoy. And one more thing, so you must have a good character. Suppose if you ask all the students to come on time, so you must be on time. Right? Suppose if we tell all the students, you must always be cheerful, then you must be cheerful. That means what you are preaching, you must practice. H for humor. So what do you mean by humor? So you are able to connect with a kind of an example where the students are able to really enjoy. Okay, see, otherwise what happens? If you are talking only about the subject, then it will be monotonous. Okay, and for that you must have a tremendous amount of humility. So when you talk about the humility and the empathy are very important. Now E for energy. So what is happening? See, some other teacher, if they are doing it like a transactional job, that means they will just do it only for the money. There will not be any enthusiasm. Okay, so we must have a tremendous amount of the enthusiasm and also the energy. Okay, the last one is, R, resourcefulness. See, that means I must keep on learning to teach. Okay, that means suppose I want to teach, that means I must keep on learning. So you are talking to so many students, right? You must have a different kind of example. This is what I call the resourcefulness. Just want to sum up. You want to be an ideal teacher. That means you must be a guru. That means you have to remove the ignorance of the students. Right? That means you have to prepare yourself. Next is, you must have empathy and also be entertaining. Okay, the students must love to attend your classes. Okay, then you must have the right attitude. Okay, if you don't like the job, I think you should quit because the future generation is in your hands. Because there is a tremendous amount of accountability. Then you must have a tremendous amount of the character and compassion. Okay, why? Because you cannot demand the respect from the students, but you have to command the respect the students. Then the humor and the humility. Then the energy and the enthusiasm and the resourcefulness. Okay, now This is the information I am giving it to you. You must convert it as a wisdom and a integrity. Okay. Now let me give some example. Our former president, Abdul Kalam, when he was studying in 9th standard, okay, there was a teacher. There is a science teacher. His name is Shiva Subramanya Iyer. Now, according to the declaration of our Abdul Kalam, he said he was able to be inspired by the teacher to get into this kind of a science. So that means when he was studying in 9th class, okay, the seed was sown by the teacher. Look at the responsibility and also the accountability of a teacher. You are creating a future generation to be very brilliant. Okay, then I can also give one example. See, there is one scriptures, Bhagavatam. So there was a king called Yadu. So he was just traveling in a dense forest. Then he found out one sage. They call it as a Avaduta. When I say Avaduta, that means who has shaken off all the worldly desires. It's a sage. Okay. And then he just met him. And the king was quite impressed. He was calm, serene. Right? Then the king wanted to find out. See, now you are in the midst of the forest. Right? So I don't know where you have got this kind of a knowledge. And I don't find anybody here in this forest. Then the sage called Dattatreya, he said, yes, I got 24 teachers. Then the king was quite surprised. 24 teachers. Then he said, yes. Then he told the number of teachers. One is, I have learned from the sun, ocean, honeybee, elephant, fish, and a spider, and also a prostitute called a Pingala. So I am just giving one example. People who are interested to know about it, you can Google. Because see, you can learn by just observing. See, most of the intelligent people, the men of the achievement, they are able to learn more by observing than by thoughts. Okay, this is where you have to understand, yes, your good students must learn from your entire creation. Okay, now we always say that, okay, we say Guru, and we also say one more person called Jagat Guru. So what do you mean by the Jagat Guru? That means the teacher of the teachers. When I say Jagat Guru, that means the teaching is applicable for the entire world. When I say Jagat, is the entire world. Not only now, in all the time. Okay, this is what I call it Jagat Guru. So Lord Krishna is named as a Jagat Guru. Okay, now I am sure that you have to think, reflect, then try to find out that you need a teacher who is school or the college. Okay, it may be any profession that you are doing. That means it can be a teacher or a student. So if you are able to understand both, I think fantastic. Okay, take care, all the best. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti